How do you address your growth strategy in your pitch deck story? Let's find out. All right, let's talk now about your growth strategy. Now, in the previous section, you learned more about your go-to-market strategy. That's your strategy to introduce your solutions, product, and services to a new audience. Now, in order to scale, you need to have repeat and ongoing sales. So you'll need to explain your growth strategy. How do you plan to grow and scale your project or your business results? Now, there are many strategies that you can use for your business, and some of them might apply to some projects and some of them might apply to some specific businesses. So I'm just going to give you a quick overview here, and then we're going to dive a little bit deeper in one of the most common growth strategies. So some of the growth strategies that you might encounter in the growth journey of your business would be maybe product development. Maybe you want to introduce a new product and service to your existing clients. That's how you might want to increase sale and grow. It could be that you want to use the market development where you're serving new customers in a new market. It could be market penetration. These are your marketing activities that include advertising, pricing, and bundle deals. You're trying to penetrate and get more of the market share. It could also be your strategy for strategic partnerships. How do you maximize and increase growth using strategic partners? Now, in the mature stage, the conversation might be slightly different. So you might be talking about diversification. Maybe you want to enter new markets with new products and service. So that would be your diversification strategy. It could be your merger and acquisition strategy, how you plan to acquire other companies and grow by acquiring them and taking them on. Or maybe you want to grow by merging with another companies, and that would be a merger and acquisition strategy. Or maybe it's an exit strategy where you want to restructure the business to go on the public market. That could be a way where you can grow, or maybe you want to exit by just selling the business. Now, these are all advanced strategies that will require someone that is well versed in your industry, your business model, and jurisdiction. And usually these decisions and strategies are done by your existing leadership team. To reach the growth and mature stage, you probably already have a leadership on board. You might even have a board of directors or an advisory board. These would be people who would be consulting on these decisions, or you might hire outside consulting agencies that usually facilitate with these strategies. But in most cases, for most companies, in 99% of the cases, when somebody is talking about a growth strategy, they're referring to your marketing activities. That's because marketing is something that you do on an ongoing basis. It's not just your go-to-market where you're just entering. This is something that you have to repeat that cycle. How do you get that marketing cycle to repeat so that you can keep getting that revolving business model where you're making more money so that you can keep spending and getting that business to grow and scale? Because the only way you can scale is if you can repeat that cycle and repeat it profitably. So that's why in this video, I'll walk you through the important details you need to share more specifically about marketing, and more specifically about how you can demonstrate to your audience that you have a growth strategy using marketing. Now, marketing refers to ongoing activities your business needs to promote the buying and selling of your products and services. Now, the same principles can apply to internal projects. Many people call that internal communications as well. So it's a form of marketing, but to people internally within your department. So if you are asking that question, it could be, what type of internal marketing do you need to encourage and increase the adoption of your solutions within your organizations? Or if you are suggesting a solution to your audience, you need to let them know what type of communication they need to increase usage within their organization. So really, marketing can have different applications. It's just called marketing. It's a way, how do you get the message out and get people to take action based on your recommendation? Now, once again, the answer lies in your business model. So take each box and rephrase the questions to fit the story. So go through them one by one and pick the ones that apply to your story. So for example, if you're talking about market segmentations, it could be, what market segment can we scale faster? If you're talking about the cost structure and pricing, it could be, what pricing structure can help us increase new and repeat sales? Because that's the only way you can scale, is if you have a repeat and also increase in new sales. So go through the questions again and focus on growth this time and how that might impact your particular situation. Now, as you start working on this, you're going to notice that marketing really is a vast topic. And that's why many new and established businesses struggle with it. It's not easy. And as more businesses move online, new marketing platforms, networks, tools, and applications are introduced, creating more level of complexity. So marketing is becoming more of a specialized skill, just like medicine. Now, not too long ago, people used to go to see one doctor for everything. Now, I don't know about you, but growing up, I used to watch the show called Little House on the Prairie. And it was a little town where they had one doctor, and that doctor did everything, gave birth, fixed minor wounds. They also did some kind of a surgery. It used to be one doctor that did everything, and they usually used to have this one doctor bag, and it used to have all their tools in it. That's how medicine used to be. Of course, now medicine is a highly specialized industry. There are more advanced diagnostics, treatments, and surgical tools. And that's why your family doctor will now refer you to a specialist if you need further testing and advanced treatments. Your general practitioner can check your general health, but they cannot perform brain surgery or do any advanced procedures on you. They don't have the time and resources to become an expert in every area of medicine. Now, it's the same with marketing. Marketing involves many activities. It's almost impossible to learn and keep up with every new marketing platform, network, tools, and applications. Especially now as we have new artificial intelligence, when we have machine learning, it's really becoming more of a specialized and complex industry. So the market is switching more to a specialized environment. Some people specialize in content, some specialize in design, some specialize in coding, some now specialize in artificial intelligence. There's also video marketing, augmented reality, virtual reality, the metaverse. There are so many components, so it's very hard to be a specialist in everything. So my tip here for you is to remember that the pitch deck is more about strategy. We're not diving into the tactics and execution. The goal here really is to explain that you have a strategy and that you have something on your radar. So you can consult with your team or your marketing experts for the details. You can delegate that. You don't necessarily have to do it yourself. From a leadership perspective, at a high level, you need to show that you understand the big picture and you know that you can consult experts to fill in the details for you. So now from a strategy perspective, I want to share a diagram from Dan Kennedy, one of the top marketers on the planet. This simple diagram shows how you can get the right message to the right people via the right media channels. Now, it seems very simple. It's just a triangle, but there's a caveat to this triangle, because to do that, you need to be able to do it effectively, efficiently, and profitably. So really the main focus here on how to do all of this effectively, efficiently, and profitably. And from a leadership perspective, this is really what matters: being effective, efficient, and profitable. These are the questions you need to be answering, not the details, not the day-to-day activities of marketing. So let's take a quick tour of this diagram. The first step is the right message. So you need a message that you can relate about your products and services. Now, the good news is you already worked on that. Your problem opportunity narrative will set the tone for the future content. So by creating your pitch deck, you are setting the tone and foundation for that message. And that's why choosing the right message and the story really is a high-level activity. It's a leadership activity. So even if you hire writers or marketers to help you with this process, you need to approve the final decision. And the final decision, the responsibility lies on you as the leader to approve that message as well. So by working on your pitch deck, you have already started on that foundation. Now, the second point is the right market. So you need to customize your message to fit your target market. And your target market are people who can benefit from your solutions. And that's why you need to be very clear on who specifically needs your solutions and how to reach them. Now, remember, you got to explain that during your target market segment when we were working on your problem story. So keep digging and learning more about your market. This is something that you have to do on an ongoing basis because the market is dynamic. It keeps changing. And the more you know about your market, the better solutions you can create for them. Plus, you'll be able to use their language to articulate their problem. You want to see how do they describe that problem. And if you use the same words, then they're going to resonate more with you and they'll want to know what is your proposed solutions. Now, number 3 is the right media and method. Now, there are many media channels and platforms that you can choose to reach your market. In the past, it used to be easy. You just had TVs, newspapers, and magazines, and their radio. But now there are so many digital channels, including virtual reality, augmented reality, and the metaverse. It's really getting more and more complex, even though it's also at the same time giving more opportunities for more businesses to reach more people in different ways as well. So everything has pros and cons. Now, you might already know this because this is something we already addressed in your business model, and that is your channels. So you've already might have started diving into the channels and exploring what channels can be applicable for your particular case. So in this particular situation, you want to be asking what channels can help you scale faster. Now, you might have to consult with some of the marketing experts so that you can pick the best channels for your particular industry. Marketing experts will be aware what channels are working best right now. So if you want to take that shortcut, so look for channels where your ideal customers are already hanging out. Where do they hang out in that particular demographic? And marketing experts can guide you to choose that platform. But from a leadership perspective, your goal is to get all of this done effectively, efficiently, and profitably, because marketing can become a money pit. So unless you know what you're doing, it can get very costly. So you don't want to be leaving all of these decisions to chance. And that's why you need marketing analytics to measure and manage and analyze your performance. And since most marketing channels are now digital, it's much easier to track and measure your results. So most advertising platforms and networks now will show you statistics and the demographics of the people who are engaging with your content. I know that the privacy laws are changing, so they might not show you who specifically, but you're still able to make these selections without necessarily infringing on privacy laws. So really, from a strategy perspective, analytics can help you eliminate marketing channels that are not delivering results and focus on channels that bring you more leads and sales. Now, you might want to learn how to read these analytics yourself, or you might want to get your marketing team to keep giving you updates on these analytics so that you can keep your eye on the budget and how the analytics is affecting your overall marketing budget, because that's going to affect everything else within your organization. So really, when you go back to the Canva business model, you have to do all this digging so that to show that you're keeping the budget on your radar. How much will all these marketing activities cost you? You need to know that budget so that you can stay profitable. And that's why when you're talking to investors or your leadership team, your focus has to stay on the strategy. They're not interested in the day-to-day marketing activities. They want the big picture. So the two most common things you need to be sharing with them on a pitch deck is what is your customer acquisition process, is how do you get people into your organization, and number 2 is what is your customer acquisition cost, how much does it cost you to acquire that customer and so that they become a buyer within your organization. And the cost is more about time, effort, and money. So really the question here is how much time, effort, and money does it take you to get people to buy from you? The two components work together, and the same principles can apply to internal projects as well. So now let's start with your customer acquisition process, also known as CAP. So if anyone says, what's your CAP? Now you know they're talking about your customer acquisition process, which is really your process of how you plan to attract new people and buyers into your business. Now, many people also call that your marketing funnel. So you need a funnel because people will rarely buy right away. They need to see a product or a service or a solution several times before they make that purchase decision. Unless there's an emergency emergency or they need to stop an immediate pain, people usually like to take their time to see what other options are on the market. So they need to see your offers and your message several times before they build that trust in you. And then one day when they desperately need your solutions, they will make that sale. But you don't want to be leaving this process to chance. So you need to use something called a lead magnet. A lead magnet helps you attract people into your business. Now, we call leads people who have not bought anything yet. So they're usually referred to as leads, and customers or clients are people who've already bought from you. So a lead magnet is intended to attract people into your business without even buying just yet, just to get them into that door, get their foot into the door so they get to know you and start building that relationship. So a lead magnet could be any form of free content. It could be a free trial or a free product. So they're not a customer yet because they haven't made any business transaction. They haven't paid you anything, but you still want to have that transaction with them. And in order to get that lead magnet, people have to give you their contact details, or they might need to follow you on social media. So there needs to be some kind of interaction, because if you just give them a free offer and they move away, then you'll not be able to contact them again. But you want to get their contact information, and that's what many people in the business call opt-in. So they opted in. They gave you in their contact information so that you can give them something free in return. So which means that they are interested in what you have to offer. And if they're interested more, they'll stick around to learn about your solutions a bit more. And that's why you need to get very clear on what your audience or your target market wants. What can you give them? What would be the best lead magnets? And the only way to decide is if you know exactly specifically what they want. So you can start giving them promotions and free offers that will appeal to them as well. Now, some people might follow you for months or for years before making that purchasing decision. So you need to find ways to engage and nurture your leads. You want to provide value until they make that first sale. And to build that relationship, you would use follow-up techniques like email. Now that you have their contact, you can email them. You can email them about offers, about tips, about contests, prizes. It could be a webinar. It could be a free video that you created for them. So there are many ways or excuses that you can come up with to send them information through their email that is of value for them. The idea here is to really engage and nurture them and help them evaluate your products and services. And now when they're ready to buy, they'll remember you because you took that time to build that relationship. You took the time to help them make an informed decision. And that's when you have a sales conversion. So an opt-in is when they opt in without paying. A conversion ideally is when they had paid for something. And really the objective here is to turn your cold traffic into hot traffic. Now, cold traffic, if you remember, are people who don't know you yet. So you need to give them teasers, free trials, and other offers to get their attention. And the goal is to build that relationship to a point where they can trust you to make that sale. So you can see now how your customer acquisition process is really your relationship with your potential buyers. What do you need to do to convert them from strangers to people who will trust you and who will eventually do business with you? So you can start by creating awareness, engaging with them over time, and guiding them until they make that sale. So now the big question, well, how do you communicate all this information on your pitch deck? Well, the good news is there are already some slides like this one here we're looking at. It says customer acquisition process, and you can see here it's a table. So if you see a table that's talking about the top of the funnel, tofu, middle of the funnel, mofu, and bottom of the funnel, bofu, I guess that is. Really, they're talking about that funnel of how do you get people into your business, how do you engage and nurture them, and then how do you get that sales. So you can see here on this table, the top of the funnel is facilitate awareness. So you can list what are the tips or the tools or resources or activities you'll do to create that awareness. So in this simulated example, they have press release, promotional video, social media post. And then in the middle of the funnel, it's to help them facilitate evaluation. So you're helping your audience evaluate if your solution is the right fit for them. Because ideally, you want to make sure the right people buy your solutions and not force them to buy. Because if you force them to buy, you're not going to get case studies and testimonials. You want people who really need your solutions so they can give you the best testimonials and case studies. So maybe in that particular case, you might email them about a free trial or an event or an exclusive offer. or discount that's only available to people who are following you. So it could be something that's a special offer for them to evaluate if your solutions are needed. And the bottom of the funnel is what can you do to help them make a informed sales decision. It could be that you show them an extra demo. Maybe you share one more success story. It could be that you show them a comparison sheet so that they can see what the competition has and what you have so that they can make that decision. So you can see how here in one slide you can convey all that story and show that, you know what, this is our strategy. Now, or you can use a simple strategy table where you map out your objectives. Now, you might remember this slide from the go-to-market strategy. You can use the same concept again where you have the objective. Here's our objective for our marketing, but you have to give it a specific date because this is not a go-to-market strategy. Now, go-to-market means that you're entering the market. Marketing means it's an ongoing activities, and that's something that you would monitor maybe on a monthly or a quarterly basis. So in this example, you can just say Q1, quarter one, which is the first 3 months of the year, for the year, whatever. Our objectives, here they are. These are the action steps we're going to get to reach these objectives. And key performance indicators, KPI, is how do we plan to measure this success. That's another way to show this on a slide. Or you can use a table to describe your company goals, your marketing objectives, and what activities you'll take and KPIs. So if there's only one set of activities, you can divide the table in a different layout. Another way is to talk about prioritization, because remember, our objective here is to do things effectively, efficiently, and profitably. So if you're using like this slide here where it says marketing prioritization, you're showing that you're picking the project that has the easy wins right now. So you're convincing your team or your audience, why did you specifically pick this particular marketing strategy for this specific period and time? So if you're showing that you have that on your radar, because remember, we're just talking about the big picture and the strategy. We're not going into the details, and you want to show that you're doing everything efficiently, effectively, and profitably. Otherwise, there will be no business. So once you have your proposed process, it's now time to address the cost, because really that's what matters. We're looking at the process so that we can evaluate the cost. That's what business is all about. So that's when you start talking about your customer acquisition cost, what many people called CAC. So if you hear what's your CAC, what's your customer acquisition cost, it's really talking about the total cost of sales and marketing efforts needed to convince a buyer, to customer to buy your products and services. Now, many people calculate this differently. Some people just calculate it based on advertising cost. Other people calculate it as the total cost of sales and marketing. That includes labor. So if you hire people to do marketing or you hire salespeople, you have to factor in how much are you paying them as well to bring in these activities. So the question here you're answering is, how do you get people into your funnel? Now you know what a funnel means. So how do you get them into the funnel? And then how much will it cost you? So that is the strategy we need to convey. Now, in terms of cost, you have two different routes here. You can use one or the other, or you can combine both. Most companies combine both options. The first thing is free traffic. Now, free traffic is organic traffic. That's when people just find you on their own. They might stumble across your products on social media, or they might find a blog about your products, or they might find you when they're doing a random Google search. That's free traffic. Now, paid traffic is when you specifically create an ad and you pay for it. So you pay to put ads on social media and other online platforms as well, or it could be offline on radio, TV, and newspapers. Many people still do that as well. That is all paid traffic. But the thing is, if you look at paid traffic or if you look at free traffic, really they're all costing you time. Now, free traffic is going to cost you labor time, because it's going to take a lot of time to put all of these posts and create all of these blog posts and go manage the engagement on social media. So it does take time. It will cost you in time, which also requires money to fund that activity. And if you look at the paid marketing activities, well, that's going to cost you money, especially now as more people are spending on advertising. So online advertising costs are going up. But the main difference between the two is that free traffic is not measurable, because you don't know where the people came from. You might have put a post on social media, on Instagram, they saw it and they come to buy, but you don't know that the sale came from Instagram. Whereas if you're using paid traffic, everything is monitored. If someone clicks on an ad and they go and buy, you can track all of these and you can see the analytics so that you can know what is the best channel that is working for your resources. So now you have to decide. This is part of your strategy. When you're conveying it, you want to show, why are we focusing on free free traffic, or why are we focusing on paid traffic? That could be part of your growth strategy conversation as well. So which brings us to the big question, well, how much should you be spending on your marketing budget? Now, on average, when you take all industries, the average is around 10%. So if your business is bringing in 100,000, about 10,000 would probably be going on marketing. If your business is making $1 million, about 100,000 would need to be going on marketing to keep your business activities going. But as you can see here from the chart, that it could vary. Now, you can see here retail, it says 22%. That's because it's a very competitive space. A lot of people are selling retail to consumers, which means it's a B2C to retail to consumers. So there's a lot of activities and competition on the network, advertising networks to get that space. It's much more expensive. Whereas if you look at energy, it's only 1%. That's because most people need energy. They don't even need ads to choose that. And in many cases, it could be a government organization that's offering this energy. So it's much lower marketing budget. Or if you look at Big Pharma, for example, it's only 3%. Well, it looks like it's little just because Big Pharma has high profit margins. They're making billions of dollars in profits. So they're able, with 3%, they're able to dominate most of the ads. If you're watching daytime TV, at least here in North America, most of the ads during daytime are about pharmaceutical products. So it makes you wonder, how do they have all this budget when in reality they're only spending 3% of their revenue on advertising as well. So you can see it vary here. So now when you're trying to convey your conversation and strategy, try to look what industry are you in, compare yourself to others so that you know if you have a reasonable budget, and find ways so that you can compete with others and still have an efficient, effective, and profitable process in place. Now, if you want to give an accurate response, then you'll need to factor in the total cost. You need that number so that you know if your marketing efforts are working or not. Now, you might remember this slide about the customer lifetime value and the customer acquisition cost. We looked at it earlier. Now, the customer lifetime value means how much would a customer spend with you over time, and the customer acquisition cost is, of course, how much it's going to cost you in sales or marketing to get that customer on board. So you'll need to look for ways to cover your marketing and sales cost by extending the lifetime value of the customer. You'll need to find ways to get buyers to come back and buy more from you, because repeat customers will cost you much less than chasing after new customers all the time. So the big question is, how do you lower your customer acquisition cost? You do that by monitoring and optimizing your marketing activities. And that's why you need to use measurable marketing activities so you can track and find out which ones are working and which ones are not. Now, as more people are turning to social media and online marketing, the cost of advertising is going up. So you'll need to find ways to balance that budget and keep your business healthy, effective, efficient, and profitable. Which means you'll have to find ways to increase the lifetime value of the customer. So the big question is, how do you get existing customers to come back and buy more from you? Now, you might remember we did cover this earlier in the earlier segment. You can do that by giving them more options through cross-sell, where if they're buying something, you can offer them to buy something else at the point of purchase, or you can offer them to upgrade and upsell to something a little bit more expensive, which is a lower cost for you, but then they end up paying a bit more. It could also, though, that you give them an incentive to come back and have repeat sales. Coffee shops are well known for that. Buy 9 coffees, you get the 10th ones for free, so they get you coming back to the same location. It could also that you offer them solutions at different price point, a different variety of products and services, and some of the big stores have that option in place, so customers keep coming back and buying different products and services from you. Now, once again, you want to be planning for this process and you don't want to be leaving it to chance, because as you can see from what we have covered so far, that your marketing strategy and growth strategy is really connected to your business model as well. It's that business canvas that keeps coming up with all of these questions, because all of these elements are connected to create a healthy business for you. So that's why when you're doing that planning and somebody has already opted and they already bought something from you, the next step would be, okay, well, how do I plan the next phase? Now, the next phase, many people call that your sales funnel. I know it sounds a bit confusing because there's a marketing funnel and sales funnel. So let me show you the difference and similarities so you can see how that might apply to your particular situation. Now, our marketing funnel is an automated process designed to create awareness and attract new leads into your business. So the goal really is to create more leads and get them to opt in, give you that contact information so that you can build that relationship with them and then eventually make that first sale. On the other hand, a sales funnel's objective is it could be online, it could be offline, and the purpose of the sales funnel really is to get you new and repeat sales. So sometimes they're used interchangeably because in some situation you might not need a marketing funnel, you might just simply go with a sales funnel if you have a simple business structure, whereas if you have many products and offers, you might need multiple marketing and sales funnel. But at a high level, that is the main difference. Marketing is getting people, attracting them into your business, and sales is really closing the sale and getting repeat and ongoing sales into your business. So when you're talking about your growth strategy, you need to get clear on the process. You want to show your audience that you understand what process you're talking about. Are you talking about marketing? Are you talking about sales? Are you talking about a combined effort? And if so, if it's a combined effort and you need a sales team, well, how much is that sales team going to cost you? Is that going to be part of your customer acquisition cost? So now you see why you need to know the details so that when you're relating it, you have these accurate numbers. Now, in many cases, you might not have the answers. Most new businesses still don't have the answer, and that's okay. The main thing here is to show that you know what you're talking about, you're aware of the process and the difference, and that you have a plan, you have a team, you've identified the gap, and you're working on a process and a system to get that growth strategy in place. So let's take a tour now of what could be on a sales funnel. Of course, things could vary based from business to business, but in general, a sales funnel would be when someone has just come into your business and they bought something from you, and that would be the front end product. It could be an entry point, a low item product, and in many cases, for some businesses, that could be called a loss leader. They call it a loss leader because you could be losing money on that sale. Now, that strategy is used a lot in supermarkets. Sometimes you might get a coupon and something at such discounted price, even the supermarket could be losing money on that product. But the reason they do that is because they want to get you into the door. Because once you're into that supermarket, you're not going to only be buying that discounted product. Chances are you're going to be buying other items, and that's how they keep getting you to come back more and buying from the same location as well. So ask yourself, can you offer a low-cost item to get people into your business? Does this apply to your situation? If yes, try to think of ways that you can offer that. Because once they buy something from you, even if it's $1, even if it's a few cents, now they've showed that they trust you. They already have that transaction and you have their data. Now you can introduce new offers and solutions to them. Now, in many cases, there could be some other offers. So you can structure that sales funnel any way you want. That is a customized process. I'm showing you here a high level what it might work in many cases. So after the loss leader, in some cases, there could be something called a tripwire. A tripwire is also another special deal. Now, some people call it a tripwire. It's almost like when you're walking and you trip and you see something and you go, wow, this is such a great deal. And you stop to see what you just found. And that's what the intention of the tripwire is, that you sometimes send these special offers and deals to get people back into your business, to get them to buy more from you so that they continue to build that relationship with you. And really the goal here is to get them to your core products. So you want them to keep coming back, buying more core products, you have more high profit products, and hopefully more repeat sales. It could be the same program or a membership, or it could be the same price item, but you want to find ways to keep letting them come back through your sales funnel and buying more and more from you. So from a leadership perspective, the growth strategy, specifically in terms of marketing and sale, involves the explanation of how you plan to attract people into your business, which is your marketing funnel that helps you attract, engage, and nurture people to the point where they make a sale, and also a sales perspective of once people get into your business, what are the steps in terms of sales? Do you have different products and services for them that they can buy, or is it only one? If you only have one product or service, then the business does not have a chance to grow. So you need to find ways where you can get people to come back into your business and buy more. And that is something that you have to plan for, and it is called your sales funnel. And the objective of all of this really is to create that balance. You need to find a balance where the lifetime value of the customer with how much they spend money with you over time is much higher than the cost of you attracting them into your business and servicing them as well. And that's how you get to grow a business. Now, the same principles can also apply to a project, or if you're helping clients implement your solutions within their organization. Now, you'll need all of this information because going back to the business model Canva, you can see this is going to help you with the cost structure. That's how you come up with the pricing for your products and services. You need to identify how much all of these activities will cost you so you can find a system that will help you to grow. And that's why marketing is part of the growth conversation, and it really affects your business, because if you're not able to bring in new and repeat customers into your business and get them to buy more, then the business would be very hard to scale and grow. And that's where many businesses might lose money. And so really, I want to remind you here that from a leadership perspective, it might seem like a very complex story to tell, but really your focus here is to show that you understand the big picture, you understand the strategy, and you're able to deliver it effectively, efficiently, or profitably. And if you're not able to deliver it, at least you're showing that it's on your radar. You're looking for ways to make it more effective, efficient, and profitable. The tactics and execution plan can be handled by other people. It doesn't necessarily have to be you. Your job is to explain the big picture. And from a leadership perspective, you need to demonstrate that you understand the process and how much it will cost. So how to make your customer acquisition process more efficient. How can you make that process more efficient? How do you reduce the customer acquisition cost? And what marketing and sales channels are more efficient and cost effective? And this is all tied into your sales and marketing funnels and how much everything will cost you. So if you narrow it down to one question when you're talking about your growth strategy, really is how do you plan to grow and scale? And in most cases, it's going to be related to your marketing, sales activities, and how you can make that more efficient, effective, and profitable. So when it comes to your slide design, there's no wrong or right way, because now you can see there could be so many stories you could be sharing. So you could pick a layout that fits with your story. In many cases, start with a simple table. It could be good for you to organize your thoughts, and then you can worry about jazzing things up from a design perspective. Or you can keep it high level and mention the top 3 areas of focus. So in this Canva example, it just says social channels, loss leader plan, loyalty programs. You can say we're focusing on these 3 areas. It could be simple slides showing your upcoming promotions. We plan to introduce a referral program, social media campaign, frequent user rewards. You can take it any direction you want. You can divide it by months. You can say for the next quarter, here's our strategy for growth. We're focusing on these activities. It could be a timeline to show what you plan for the rest of the year, not just for the quarter. So really there is no wrong or right way. You could also take it direction towards one particular product only and talk about your product marketing strategy, not specifically as a company as a whole. Maybe one of your products, maybe that's what you are in charge and you're creating a pitch deck for one specific area. So you might want to just focus on that product, create an infographic, talk about your pricing strategy, your product, your promotions, and a specific location. So that could be also a great growth strategy, talking about your market strategy. It could also be a combination where you talk about your growth strategy while you combine marketing and sales, customer service, and product development. How do these 3 elements fit together to help you grow? So you can see here really that conversation can be very different for different businesses. The main thing here is to show that it's on your radar and that you are planning for it. Another thing you can show here is market statistics. So if you're already collecting data and analytics, you can start sharing that with your leadership team or investors or other stakeholders who would be interested in that data. Anything to show that your company can grow. Some people, especially for internal projects, like to use something called SMART goals. Now, SMART goals refer to something that is specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. So they try to create goals with using these criteria, and you can apply the same goals for a growth strategy, for a marketing strategy, from a sales strategy. So pick a way that is relevant to you and that could be meaningful to your audience as well, something that would resonate with them. In many cases, a growth strategy could be where you're saying, hey, we're opening 15 new locations. So for example, this could work if you're talking to investors, that our goal is to increase is to serve 15 locations. We want to add 23 new pickup locations. Of course, this is a commercial template, but this is something to show that you are planning for that growth and it is on your radar. It could also be where you show, okay, this is our strategy and here are the points how we plan to implement that strategy. Another way you can show it is by talking about other elements of your growth strategy. It could be something about your product development, market development, diversification, market penetration. You might want to put a few notes about that if you already have these details. Or it could be something as simple saying, hey, you know what, we're just introducing coupons, a referral program, discounts, and loyalty incentives. So you can see here the design can vary. Mainly pick designs that highlight the summary of what you want to show. And the summary is you want to show that you know what you're talking about. You are looking for ways to make everything efficient, effective, and profitable. So as you can see here, once again, when we're looking at this chart, there are many ways to talk about that, and what you decide to share will depend specifically on your solutions and your business setup. In most cases, your growth strategy is referring to your marketing strategy, and more specifically, how to get the right message, the right people, and the right media channels. I'll keep repeating that because it's the most important thing. You need to be able to do that effectively, efficiently, and profitably, and that's usually a balance between your customer acquisition process and your customer acquisition cost. You need those two balanced to keep that healthy growth strategy in place. Now, in terms of tips, I would always say, remember to focus on the big picture. You don't want to be sharing the details. I find that with many of my clients, they sometimes want to put all the slides, but say, well, that doesn't make sense without of these slides. Try to find a way to summarize your strategy on one slide only, and set goals and follow them to ensure that they are met, more specifically for you and your teams. And whenever possible, use analytics to monitor and optimize your budget, so you can also show these reports as well. So your action items for this section really is to start and maintain a marketing strategy slide to explain how you plan to attract and maintain customers, add details on how you plan to measure your progress, and set goals that you can measure as well. You might not have all the answers right just now, but if you start a slide and you keep it on your radar, then you can keep this on your radar and horizon. So go ahead, get started, and I'll see you in the next video.